another day, another video. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are starting a brand new series on the channel, and it is Legacies. Yes, this is the third installment of the Vampire Diaries / Originals franchise, and obviously I've been told that it's very different from the previous other two shows. So what we are going to do is we're going to come into this with a blank slate and just treat it as its own individual product, you know, because each show brings different aspects to the universe, so to speak. So to me, in my opinion anyway, the Vampire Diaries, that was kind of like, I don't know, it kind of felt like a relationship, sort of like friendship group, you know, like that sort of aspect of it, like relationships establishing, progressing. And the Originals was more as family, do whatever it takes, always and forever, you know, family first over everyone. And now, looking at the pictures of this and seeing how it's Hope, and we had Roman, obviously, in the last one, I'm assuming this is going to be something like a teen kind of vibe, where we kind of have the, you know, we've had the family, then we've had, like, the friends, and now we're going to have, like, a school of people learning Harry Potter-esque, you know, like, when they come in, you're a wizard, Harry, you know, but this time it's you're a werewolf, or you're a vampire, or you're a witch, you know what I'm saying? So really interesting. We obviously know that Hope is a tribrid. Really excited. I want to see her progress, her vampire abilities get shown more, because we've only seen her do a bit of magic and transition over into a wolf as well, but not really many vampire traits. So very excited to see how she progresses. We did get introduced to a lad in the very back end of the Originals. In the finale, she danced with a guy who worked at the Mystic Grill, and he mentioned that obviously it's a rich school up locked behind the gates, and that is the actual Salvatore mansion where we are learning with Rick, I believe, is like the teacher. So I'm really excited to see if Caroline is in this show as well, because she is one of my favourites, and it'd be nice to see lots of the people, even if they're not in it and they just drop in here and there, even Freya, because obviously, spoiler, but Klaus sadly did die in the last episode of the Originals, and so did Elijah. And I've got to say, I'm giving an appreciation to those, because their death was my favourite. It was so good. It actually had me crying. They was amazing. And she's orphaned as well, because Haley died prior to that. Both her parents died saving Hope, doing whatever it takes, always and forever, putting the family first. And you know, big up to them. Amazing show, and I'm hoping this is just as good. So thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Hopefully guys enjoy it. Hopefully this is an amazing series to start and just plow through and have some fun. And we're going to take it, like I said, as a blank slate. We're not going to compare it to the Vampire Diaries or the Originals. We just hope the product in front of us is good, while still utilising the favourite stuff that we see, compulsion and the magic and the transitions, you know, and the feeding and all that stuff, as well as all these new characters and you know, new relationships getting built. So thanks so much. Hopefully guys enjoyed today's episode. If you do, please smash a like. It really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, let's jump into the first episode of Legacies.
When we're young, we're taught the distinction between a hero and a villain. But what if the only real difference is just who's telling the story? The school behind these gates protects the secrets of people like me. And tonight, under the light of the full moon, we will be opening our doors to someone new.
Buenas tardes, Father Pietro.
Landon, this is between your foster brother and God, okay?
Do they think he's going to transition because it's a full moon?
Suscipite precatonium nostrum. What? Suscipite precatonium nostrum.
What are you doing?
Landon.
Hope?
You two know each other?
Long story.
Será Portus.
Shut down the exorcist, would you?
Maledicti.
Silencio.
Oh yeah mate, he looks sick. Look at him. Hey, do you know what? I love it. They've got the little swirl. They've done it on both of the logos. I like how they've got it here as well, just paying a little bit of homage to the shows that come before it. Got to say, what a good introduction that was. Like, I actually think that was a very good introduction. If you had never watched the other two shows before, and you just clicked on this would have kept you engaged. Like, I thought that was a really good introduction. The music was, I think the music was chosen perfectly. It felt dead, like, impactful. It was dead intense. Like, it kept you engaged, and like, obviously it was transitioning over. I like how she done that thing in his mouth and it closed his mouth. It reminded me of, is it Wade Wilson from the X-Men when he had it done on him? Mad. That was a good start. I really enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie.
He used to serve me milkshakes at the Mystic Grill.
Peanut butter blast.
And then he moved away.
Then you made a door blow off its hinges with your brain. You like explaining that?
Right, you're not telling me that's where Stefan and Damien used to live. We've never seen it that big before. It's massive.
Welcome to the Salvatore School.
Josie Brown, Lizzie
Everyone
Blonde.
behave.
Love you, Dad.
Were you aware of us when you lived in Mystic Falls?
I knew Hope went to some fancy boarding school.
We blend in, participate, contribute just enough.
We are a school for the supernatural.
I don't mean to be a dick, but I don't know you. The image of you whammying a priest is still fresh. I need you here. Either I've lost my mind or werewolves are real.
I mean, clearly seen his brother chained up,
This
so...
is beyond insane.
Let's start with who he killed recently.
Yeah, seriously, he must have killed someone, innit? He must have killed someone to trigger his werewolf curse. Now, did they see through a lawnmower? Wonder if he hit someone with it. Imagine that, death by flying lawnmower. That's madness. So he's called Raphael. The guy's a werewolf. This guy is called Landon. Then we got Josie Brown there, Lizzie Blonde. Remember.
That is our librarian, Mr. Williams. He's subbing for a chemistry of magic teacher who accidentally incinerated himself last week in Hellfire.
Fesnatos es Lucas Odre.
The werewolf gene lies dormant until the carrier takes a human life. 6 foster homes in 7 years, prone to fits of anger.
Yeah.
I've been going here since I was 7. This is a safe place for people like Raphael. It's a home.
His girlfriend. He was driving. It was a storm. He took a turn too fast. That was when our foster parents called him the priest. Because they thought he was possessed by the devil.
Getting compelled,
My name's
mate.
Kirby. Milton Greasley.
You know, for a school with a secret to keep it kind of liberal with your information.
Because you're not remembering.
actually intend for you to remember any of it.
All you need to know is that your friend has found a home where you can live a better life.
How could I forget any of this?
And hey, did you do it wrong?
No, I didn't do it wrong. This is the easiest vampire trick in the book.
Well, it didn't work.
So, this guy's sipping the vein, or he's wearing it, or he can't be compelled. Now, sipping it would mean that he would have to know that supernaturals were a thing, wouldn't it? Because that's the only reason why they sip it, because they know that they could be compelled and they want to stop themselves. So this guy doesn't know anything about them. So I'm saying that that's out the window. He even knows somebody that is supernatural and they're the one that have given him a possession, maybe like a watch or something that he consistently wears, which obviously aids in not being able to compelled. Or, you know, if he's a vampire himself, he can't be a vampire, or a witch or a wolf, then they can't be compelled, can they? Only the originals can compel anybody. I still don't understand how Hope's not doing vampire stuff. Like, how old is she here? 15, 16? She is an original vampire, in my opinion, unless, I mean, I think people said in the originals that she's not an original. But then that would, to me, that makes no sense. An original vampire, you could say, would be the first ones ever made. That's why they're called the originals. But is she not her own original? Like, she is the first ever tribrid, so she's an original vampire. She's descendant of the Crescents, of the witches, of the first witches, and of the first vampires. So she is her own technical original. She should be able to compel people. That's interesting.
We won't keep you here long. No one expected you couldn't be compelled.
I don't know what that means.
Take this herb called vervain. Town sheriff sometimes slips it into the coffee at the gas station we were at this morning.
Yeah, I'll just sit here alone in the witch dungeon.
Not a witch dungeon, it's a wolf transition space, you just said.
I'm really sorry about all of this.
Alright, imagine playing sports as supernatural, that'd be mad.
It's called Wickery. My parents invented it when we were 10.
Probably.
I heard about what happened to your girlfriend. I'm nosy in that, like, charming way. I am so sorry. Guys like you make me nervous.
Guys like me?
You know, hot.
Oh, this looks like Cobra Kai, mate.
You have to lock him in the cellar.
Where else was I gonna put him?
That looks sick. It's mad how they're like
You
more
landed.
bare chemistry.
In a thing or something?
I don't have things.
We survive here because we follow the rules. We can't get sloppy about it.
Attempt to make an actual friend here, and we can reevaluate this relationship.
Check it. Oh.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, baby. That's interesting. So I would say I was kind of right then in the introduction when I said that it's kind of like Hogwarts. That's how I feel like it. You know, it looks like it's similar to Fate the Winx Saga, where people with magic powers go and they learn and they hone the traits. You know what I mean? They get used to the supernatural world and then they send them off to be on the merry way into society. That's what I feel. So I feel like this is going to be kind of like a school program, so to speak. But it's interesting because he used to always be about, you know, the humans and stuff like that, Rick, because obviously he's a human. But like, there's a few times here that they've dropped it in where he wants to not associate these with any humans at all. We only play enough into society so people don't raise questions, which is very smart actually. Because if you had this school and no one ever seen him, you'd be like, what's going on up there? But if you went down into the city, into Mystic Falls, I don't know, every now and again said hello to people, bought a few like groceries and went back home, then it wouldn't raise questions because you'd be seeing him, oh yeah, that nice people. But he said, you know, like, we keep it this way because we don't want to reveal ourselves. So he doesn't want Hope to be friends with this Landon. And also he keeps saying, look, you need to make friends here. I think that she looks like she's a bit of a loner and no one's really spoken to her yet, has there? We haven't seen anyone speak to her. So it is really interesting. I always think as well, right, Ricky's obviously a human, so he's going to die at some point. Like, maybe, do you reckon he was Esther put him as an original, didn't she? And then he went through the boundary and he nearly died. Joel saved him. Now, can he go back to being a vampire if somebody wanted to transition him over? That'd be an interesting one. I don't think we've ever seen that one before. Someone who's been one, detransitioned with the cure, we've seen that, but then they've never been able to get it back. But I wonder in Rick's case what actually happens.
Sometimes I get restless.
Busy brain?
Busy everything.
You ask a lot of questions.
Do you blame him though?
Remembering the day we danced? The guy who used to mess with me in school finally got what was coming to him.
Just like me to crush on the girl with the most baggage.
It can be dangerous to people. It's better if I keep my distance.
Better for who?
Reminds me of Rebecca, always wanting to keep distant because she's afraid that she's like a bad egg to everyone. Check this out. Oh, it's Joe.
What the hell, man? Yo, let's get you a drink, bro. Yeah, let's do that.
I was talking to these wolf dudes back here. All that stuff I've been feeling, it's normal.
Or anything?
I'm good.
So my question is, if you was him, yeah, what would you do? Would you stay and see if you could be part of the school or whatnot? Or would you leave? Would you, like you say, you're free, you're out the dungeon now, and like instead of just waiting in, you know, to get dragged back in and compelled, would you just jump the fence, like he was saying, bounce, and then just go back home? You know, both of them interesting options. But what I don't want to happen, which does annoy me, is like if he did jump the fence and went home, I wouldn't want him to run around the city like Mystic Falls. Oh, these supernaturals, like, because I never really understand that. I mean, I'd tell my friends like, bloody hell, mate, I've just been up there to that school. It's like witches and vampires, and just seen guy transition into a wolf. Like, you would say that to your friends. Like, let's be honest. I'm not going to say like I'd never mention it to anyone. Of course I would. I'd mention it to my close group of friends and that. But in terms of like going around blurting it, I wouldn't do that. And like Rick was saying, there's plenty of us, but we've never been a harm to anyone. We like to keep ourselves to ourselves and learn, and then we come out into the world. And the fact that you don't know that we're here shows that we're not actually bad people. That's pretty much like what I took from it. But I'm interested with him because he's like, I wonder if he's the Matt of the series, because every series has like a human and just one guy there who's different to everyone else. It keeps kind of everyone grounded around him, makes them realise, you know, like that they are special compared to everybody else and don't get too like carried away.
You nearly gave me a tracheotomy with a bread knife.
You know, I could just whip up a remedy with some herbs from the biolab.
No magic.
Do you think I'm broken?
No, you're just supernatural.
Of course not.
Josie doesn't have freakouts.
Josie spends a lot of time worrying about other people's happiness.
I don't ever want to hurt anybody.
I know that, honey.
Surprised that you have time. Training sessions you've been doing with Hope Michaels.
She's jealous.
Maybe if you made friends, we could do group training. She's just afraid to let herself care.
Woo-hoo. Everyone in here has lost something. Speak of the actual devil.
Sorry, I'm feeling kind of restless. I kind of need a release.
Stay away from the old mill. Heathens are having a secret party. I'm gonna break up in 10 minutes.
I'm missing a party?
To be there. That's funny. She who must not be named, mate. Miss Voldemort there.
Twilight ruined all vampire mythos, okay? Y'all want reality, y'all gotta go old school, okay? My man Blade, he is the GOAT. I'm not saying that y'all should kill your moms, because that's messed up.
This guy seems pretty funny as well, to be honest. It's called MG.
We really are sorry about what happened to you.
I had gotten a track scholarship to UVA. She was gonna follow me after graduation. She was the best person I knew.
I care too much. It's kind of a problem.
No, it's not a problem.
I don't think that's a problem at all.
That shows you're a nice person. To be honest, Liz seems nice as well. Both of them seem they've been brought up well. Oh, look at her putting someone else first.
Person that I know.
I like it when people put other people before themselves. We've seen it plenty of times in the Vampire Diaries where Damon said Stefan is a better person, and Stefan said Damon's a great person as well. And, you know, and we've seen it with Klaus and Elijah, both of them all the time saying, he's the best, he's the best. I do love it. You know, I like it how sisters are staying together, and I like how him and his brother as well, he said wherever you go I go. Seems like we've got like little pairing ups, and I do like it when people stay loyal to the family, friends and whatnot. Here we go.
Are you crazy? I almost killed you. All of the artifacts in here have a supernatural history. I'm sorry about earlier. You shouldn't have been out there.
Guess this means you're a werewolf.
I'm a lot of things.
Care to elaborate?
She's a beast.
Forget tomorrow.
She's Billie Eilish.
I got the munchies.
You could tell that it's new.
I can help you with that.
Last I checked, you were more into girls. And for 3...
No one asked you to bring math into this conversation.
And your binary assumptions about sexuality, they're dated.
Tune this. Ugh, Josie's seen him, mate. Ah, she's loving it, look.
My dad was one of the Earth's original vampires. Turns out even immortal beings can find a way to die eventually.
The great evil.
He wasn't very popular around here.
Mate, he was the greatest.
My mother was a werewolf alpha. People I care about have a tendency to die on me.
Not for you. Not on you. For you, mate. Both of them die for you.
A hybrid of 3 different creatures.
Unicorn.
This is the first vampire trait I've seen her do.
Get you back before anyone knows that you're gone.
Drag her back now. I like it how these are together, like, they seem like tight.
Just saw MG with his tongue down you know whose throat. You should know better than to make out with the Dark Lord.
That's why it's just lots of Harry Potter references.
Focus on somebody new.
Both
Good
of them.
crush will even you out.
Same lad, they both after.
I'm setting my sights on Raphael.
These seem much tighter than Damon and Stefan though from first glance. Hey, that's sick, mate. Guy don't feel like he's in a confined space now, he's outside.
You're a really nice person, Hope Michelson. I'm not gonna remember any of this.
Then you go in for a kiss now then, because it don't matter.
Well, in that case.
In it, mate. Smart guy. I like his hair, man. He's got some decent curls like he's.
24 hours. I was wondering if I could stay.
Hey, he's doing what I asked. Well, I said before, I'd asked. Once we're in his keep.
Then where do I belong? I just want a way out of my own life.
We are here to prevent these great kids from indulging in their darkest impulses.
I like how I said that because that is
Vampires are
true.
driven by the feed. Wolves can't control themselves in their primal state, which is when provoked, are responsible for some of the worst atrocities in history. Have MG come on in.
You know what I like? I do like how he said that, you know, it might look all singing, all rainbows here, yeah, but these are predators. Make no mistake about it, you know what I mean? These are dangerous people. I actually like that because his kids are one and obviously he teaches there, but he's not oblivious to the fact that they're not just normal, so I do like that.
Forget everything that you've seen or learned within the past 2 days. All you need to know is that your friend has found a home where he can live a better life.
Knife, dated circa the 12th century. Supernatural origins unknown.
When he walked out that door, we compelled him to go home.
So?
So? He didn't. It was the first place we checked.
What?
If his mind can't be controlled by a supernatural being, then
He's
that only means
supernatural.
one thing. He is a supernatural being.
But that was that case that he was trying to get into and Hulk came in, he was like, oh, what's that? Either he knows what that is and specifically targeted it, which is strange because he, you know, like, he was lucky to get in the school in the first place. Rick could have like not even took him there when he was taking Raphael. So, I mean, this landing, I'm really interested. Now, we've seen it in the Vampire Diaries before when people get compelled and you can tell that they've not been compelled. And I was 50-50 with him. Look, I was looking at him and I was trying to look at his reaction to see if, you know, if he went along with it. But then we didn't get a scene after it. It cut and he was outside saying bye to Raphael. So I couldn't. I took it as in like, yeah, he has been compelled because he said goodbye and he walked off. I was thinking if he looked back, that means he's not compelled, because why would you be looking back because you don't know who Hope is? Do you know what I'm saying? So like that was interesting because he didn't. Now he's took it. Why? Literally, why has he took it? What does he want to do with it? I'm saying that he is a witch. He's not a vampire because vampires have to feed. You know, you can tell with the vampires. So well, first of all, no, he could be a vampire, but I'm saying it's not. I think after looking at it from everything that I know about vampires, I'm wiping them completely out of it. That they're not. The second is if he was a wolf. I do not know if a wolf can be compelled if they haven't hit the stage of transitioning into a wolf. So Raphael now, he is a full wolf, isn't he? He's killed somebody and he's done the transition. He's a wolf. But before he killed that person, could he be compelled? Do you know what I'm saying? So he could be a wolf, because I don't know if you can be compelled before you kill someone or not. But I'm going to wipe that out as well. I'm saying this guy is a witch, because witches can't be compelled in general, and he could be a witch without knowing he's a witch. You know, if he didn't know any spells, then how would he ever know that he was a witch? So I mean, it's interesting. Now Bonnie, she obviously got better and better. We've seen her progress through the stages of being that witch. She was first guessing candles, then lighting candles, then moving feathers and guessing where things are, to literally doing mad stuff, and then she was an absolute beast. So very interested with this one. Didn't expect this guy to be supernatural at all. I thought he was going to be a human.
Tonight I need your help to find Landon Kirby.
All right, I'm gonna ask. You know who? She puts those sex herbs in her weed, and I had a momentary lapse of judgment. She's just available.
Oh, that's deep. These two girls seem actually decent. I do like Lizzie and Joel, and Hope as well, actually.
The stuff with Landon is my fault. I can fix it. I know how to track him, but it involves using dark magic.
Maybe this is how they get introduced into a little friendship group, innit, mate?
I got it. Route 29. Near the state line.
Look, because their hands are going.
Called in a favor with a buddy at State Patrol.
Check mark.
On the scene till we got here.
Turns out, Landon isn't the hero of my story at all. But when I hunt him down, I'm gonna be the villain of his.
Oh, decent, mate. I thought that was a good episode. Ain't gonna lie. If you're comparing it to the Vampire Diaries and the originals, maybe you might not like it. As a blank show on its own, thought it was a good introduction. Now, I'm not going to jump on Landon's bad right now, because that's kind of what they've dropped in to kind of make you think that way. But I want to know why he actually took that knife, because, you know, it didn't look like he intended to burn all that bus, you know, so I'm not going to actually blame him for killing all of them yet, because I don't know what his intentions are. I want to know why it glowed. Is that a real word? Because they was doing a spell, wasn't there? They was holding each other's hands like this, and their hands were pure glowing red, and then his knife started glowing red, and then so I want to know if the energy of them caused that knife to explode. I have no idea. You know, how do they know that Landon's not in that bus burnt as well? You know what I mean? Because they was all crispy. So very interesting. I want to know why he took it, what supernatural he is. I'm calling God, I was going to say vampire and werewolf. Clearly, don't think it's any of those. Don't know why I was going to say that. I'm calling Landon is a witch without him knowing. But what I want to know is, who is he taking that knife to? He must know what that knife is, because you wouldn't steal something without, you know, especially from a supernatural school, without the intentions of either using it, finding it. Did he take a book as well? Very intrigued. Now, Hope, she's saying, when I find him, I'm going to be the villain of his story. Please be the villain. I want you to be a good person, but absolutely smoke all the baddies off. Like, I want you to be Klaus. That's what I want you to be. You're my favourite character. I want you to be Klaus with the side of Haley. You could be the savageness of Klaus with the loving side of Haley. That is perfect for me. Literally, that will be the best. Also, I would kind of like this show to be like the Power Rangers. Do you know, like where you've got a team of strong supernaturals like the Rangers. So, and then you've always got maybe a threat coming in. And what you do is you get these and they all group together, like the Avengers, assemble, and then they all go after and take down the threat. And I want Hope to be the actual leader at the front of it. And what I would love to see is in one fight, her do all three of her tri-body stuff. So I would love her to like run in like proper rapid as a wolf and jump up in the air and then like bite somebody, and then I would like her to then just drop down into a human like person form, smash everybody to the side with the witchy powers, like throw them all to the walls, and then vampire boom run over and bite someone or compel them to forget. Just do all of that in one scene. Would be absolutely sick for me. I'd love it to just switch just like that. It'd be so good. But I thought this was a good introduction. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna base it on what I see right in front of me. This episode was a good introduction, and I actually can't wait to actually watch the next episode. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really interested to see now like what's gonna happen. Okay, so that's gonna wrap up today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Like I was just saying now, I thought this was a good introduction. If you was gonna take this solely on the Legacies and not compare it to the Vampire Diaries or the originals, I thought this was very good. And you know what, I've got to give the show writers or whatever a bit of credit for how can I say it, explaining the concept of the different supernaturals in one episode. So in the 42 minutes they managed to get across to us, to new viewers. Obviously us watching it, returning, we already know this stuff, but if you're a new viewer, you was told that about the werewolves, the vampires and the witches. You was also told that Hope can transition in being into a werewolf whenever she wants, where the others transition on the full moon. See, that was dropped in as well. We was told about vampires, that they love to kill, they love to feed. Rick said it, but he also said, well, we've seen that they can compel people as well. And, you know, we had Landon. I don't even know what that means. Well, compulsion, it's when you erase someone's memories, you could tell them to do things. You know what I mean? Dropped in. If you'd never seen the show before, you would never have known that, and he managed to slide that in. We managed to get told about the witches and what they do, and I just thought that it was very good at how they managed to give the key bits of info into the first episode if you've never seen it before, so you can kind of understand what's going on. They dropped in about Haley, dropped in about Klaus. You know, he was the bad guy in the story. He was the original vampire. Haley was a crescent wolf. You had Esther, again, part of the original witches. I just think it's very good how they've done this. And I'm excited as well, right, to see how the characters progress, because from first glance I actually don't mind all of them. I think Lizzie and Joe seem like really nice people. I think Rick's done a good job in bringing them up. You know, Liz, she was saying that she never want to hurt anybody, you know, and that's just nice to see, because it just thinks good. I just think good person. Joe as well, she seems really nice, and I thought MG was quite funny, the way he was talking about Blade and stuff, and he was kind of like, not manipulated, but like, you know, he said, oh, I only went for her because she was available. No, that's pretty deep. And I'm just intrigued about Landon as well. I don't know what he's doing, who he's going to. Is he part of like a group, or does he know supernaturals are a thing? If I was being instinctively, I'm probably stupid, I'm going to say he's only learned about supernaturals today in this episode. And like, because that they've rejected him from staying in the building, he's like, right, what can I take to learn more? And that's what he's took. Do you know what I mean? That's what I'm thinking happened, but I could be totally wrong, and I can't wait to obviously find out about that. I want to know why that knife glowed, and I want to know, like, if, you know, he intended to use it to kill some people. I don't know, you know, all these questions and no answers yet, but we've got so many episodes to come, so I'm really intrigued. You know, it definitely feels different to the originals and the Vampire Diaries. It feels like it's a Harry Potter-esque. We definitely dropped so many Harry Potter lines in here. Quidditch, Voldemort, he must not be named, you know. He said Hogwarts as well. He's just dropping them in. So I think that's interesting. It feels like pretty newer, modern, like relevant in the present, so to speak. We had the music, it was Billie Eilish, which feels like very now. And yeah, I just thought it was different and new, and I don't think it was bad at all. I actually thought that we seen the wolves like 2 or 3 times in this episode, where we hardly ever seen that. And I wonder if it's because the budget for the plot or the pilot was like really high to get people engaged. But I would love to see more forms of the wolf, because I think they look amazing when they run and transition and chase people down. So overall, I would say this was a good introduction. They done well to separate it from the other 2 shows, but keeping the relevancy of it and explaining it to new viewers as well, and definitely got me engaged for the next episode. Also, I can ask when I start a TV show or watch an episode, is that, was those 40 minutes worth sitting here? You know, could have been doing something better, or was it worth it? To me, it was worth it, and I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully guys enjoyed it as well, and if you did, please smash the like, it really helps out the channel. Subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers guys.